So, getting some nice wicks from this area here. Nice top wicks from this, from the supply point. So, see if we continue to maintain that at open. See some of those wicks come in and look for a flush, strength above, and retest. If we break towards the upside and go from there. Need a real good push here. Strong push on this 5 minute to then consider that break and retest, or can we get a retest at this zone? Okay, there's a close. I do like that, so I'll watch now if we can get a nice pullback to either SPY or ES zone tops. Look for a nice retest hold. Give us a quick go. Looking for that first trim. See if we can get that filled here. There it goes. Okay. First trim's in. So next area I'm going to be targeting is this 542. Stop's going to be break even on the rest. Again, as I mentioned, nice little break and retest there. Strong reclaim back above this zone. Look to take 2 off at this 542. Target pre-market highs next, and then supply above. This does have some room for me if we do get strength, just because if you look at some of the higher time frame, the hourly, we are in a nice bull flag, reclaiming above that zone there. Has some room to run if we do see strength, so I want to give this a chance to do that. 542 will be my next area on watch to be trimming at. Get some strength here. Strong break of this this candle high here. I look to hold into that. At least move in towards that 542. Taking a little off there. I don't like that. Trying to reject right here, that point there. Just to take a little bit off. You know, I don't want to suffocate these, but I just want to get myself into more of a comfortable position where I can just kind of set this break even and not try to suffocate it, but again, just gonna let this kind of do what it wants to do now. Ideally, we try to find a higher low spot, and then again, I'll look to trim more into that 542. I do understand this was a little bit earlier of a trim according to what my plan was, but as I mentioned, seeing a little bit of selling there, I just wanted to get into more of a position where I'm comfortable with just letting it kind of do what it wants to do. Just get myself a little bit out of that emotional state of needing it to move it exactly right away. So that was just kind of my thought process on that. You know, it is what it is. If we run, it's fine. I still have 40% of my position, but I want to just take off a little bit more just into this nice little move up and just manage that properly. But this higher low potential area being formed, would like to see us maintain that. A little bit of a volume spike on it as well. Stops break even on the rest. As I mentioned, I'm in more of a comfortable position now where this trade is green regardless, but I want to give this a chance to really do a little bit more. So I'm going to monitor how we move around this potential higher low area. Don't want to see us get too weak, but this is valid to try to move a little bit to find some type of area. Just kind of keep that in mind where those are. Don't want to get this stop sniped, so I'm going to keep an eye on action. If we try to pull back a little bit further, we're getting a little bit of volume in here.
But I really like the R to R on this trade because, you know, looking back on the entry, just gonna keep an eye on this real quick. There's that potential to pull back a little bit more here. Trying to form like a 5-minute bull flag or something, so I gotta keep that in mind. But
so I did like what I was trying to say there. I did like the R to R just on the entry because I was entering here. My risk was literally about 10 cents, and I could have even tightened that up a little bit if we started to invalidate on the entry candle. But max stop, 10, 15 cents maybe. You know, it just puts such an advantage for me to be able to take losses and not have that be the end of the world, just because I can get one good winner that wipes out like 3 of them. So that's what kind of keeps me in a good position to take these type of trades regardless of the result, kind of live with it. And this is also the important part of it in terms of letting these runners really run. I know it can be kind of like an emotional thing at times where you see, okay, I'm up this much money and I just want to take it off, but this is where you got to kind of detach from that and just say, okay, well, we have my clear areas I want to trim at 542, clear area there, pre-market high, supply, stop is break even below this higher low spot. If it invalidates there, it invalidates, but you never know which trade is going to be that big one. So you always just got to give it a chance to be that big one if it's going to be. So you got to give it room to be that big one. And all I mean by that is, you know, if you start cutting it short, you take it all off, and then it ends up being that huge trade, and you don't really have any risk on to be able to capitalize on that. It's not really going to help you a lot in the long term in terms of having bigger winners than those losses. So again, looking to trim towards 542. I like where that break even is sitting now below that higher low spots, though. Do like that. We are seeing some nice strength in the Qs above its last close there, so SPY lagging behind a little bit. I want to see that kind of pick back up and see some of that continuation alongside the Nasdaq. Right now we are relatively a little bit weaker than the Nasdaq, but see what we do here. Again, stops break even on the rest, and whatever it does now, it is what it is. This does not look great at this point. See what we do. And some volume in here. Yeah, break even's hit. Alright. That's the name of the game. So still not a terrible trade. Probably still managed close to at least 1, maybe 2-ish R, depending on what the total dollar amount was for that original entry. But you know, it's the name of the game. Ideally, yeah, we want more out of that, but took risk off, and I started seeing buying slowing, some selling, stepping in, trimmed up as I should have, and really gave those a chance to move, and just didn't play out this time. Is what it is.